Ever wake up from a dream and just like, whoa, that felt so real. It like sticks with you,
Tell you what.
you know?
Yeah.
Now imagine you're like Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, at the top of his game, and he has a dream so messed up, he can't shake it.
Yeah, this isn't just a case of the Mondays, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah,
This is a major historical figure.
big time.
I mean, ruled Babylon in the 6th century BC.
This is the guy who built like the hanging gardens, the walls,
The whole shebang.
the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. And he's totally thrown off his game by this dream.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder what could shake a ruler like that, right?
Absolutely.
What could rattle him to his core?
Right.
Well, luckily for us, we have a written account of this this whole royal freakout
Yes.
in the book of Daniel.
Yes. Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
From the King James Version of the Bible.
We're diving deep.
We're going deep. So set the scene for us. What's going on with Nebuchadnezzar in chapter 2?
Okay, so the text says Nebuchadnezzar was troubled, and I don't think he was worried about what to have for lunch.
Right, yeah.
Daniel 2.1 uses the phrase, his spirit was troubled. Like, this was a deep, unsettling kind of anxiety.
Keeping him up at night.
Keeping him up all night.
And this is a guy who's got, like, servants and...
Right. He could get anything he wants, but he can't sleep.
he can't sleep.
Can't buy a good night's sleep.
Exactly. So he does what any powerful king does when they need answers.
Right.
He calls in, like, the consultants. He calls in the A-team of wisdom.
Oh, yeah. Forget McKinsey. We're talking magicians, astrologers, sorcerers.
These are the big leagues. Specialists called Chaldeans, like these were the scientists and intellectuals of ancient Babylon.
Yeah, like the OG think tank.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so we've got the best of the best assembled here, ready to decipher.
The dream team.
The dream team, right. They're going to figure out what's going on in the king's mind. But then Nebuchadnezzar throws a curveball.
He throws a real curveball. Like, it wasn't enough for them to just interpret the dream.
Right.
He demanded they tell him the dream.
You tell me what I dreamt.
The whole enchilada.
Right. Talk about pressure.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
Imagine, these guys were used to vague prophecies and cryptic omens.
Yeah, yeah.
Not like pulling a play-by-play from the king's subconscious.
I don't remember. I was sleeping.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up.
I know.
So can you imagine them just like scrambling? Oh, totally scrambling, trying to remember, trying to decipher.
Did he say something about a bear?
Was it a snake? Was there like a chariot?
Give us something to work with here.
And you can practically feel the king's suspicion in the text.
Yeah.
He even accuses them of stalling for time, right? Like, he wasn't just powerful, he was sharp.
He knew.
He knew they were trying to buy time, hoping that maybe he would just forget the dream.
Right.
Or change his mind about the whole execution thing.
Which brings us to, the, what would you call it? The motivational part of his management style.
Right.
A little extra incentive.
A little incentive package.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really real. Nebuchadnezzar, he issues a decree, and it's not pretty. If these wise men, if they don't come up with both the dream and the interpretation...
It's curtains. It's curtains. It's off with their heads.
Oh, boy.
And you know what he's going to do? Turn their houses into dunghills.
What?
Dunghills. Can you believe that?
That's brutal.
That's brutal.
Okay, so we have a king who's freaking out, right?
Freaking out.
We have a ticking clock.
Tick-tock.
And all these Babylonian scholars are like, uh-oh, maybe I should update my resume.
Career change. Big time career change.
But here's the thing. This decree, it wasn't just targeting, your typical Babylonian wise guy.
Right.
It included Daniel and his companions.
Oh, yeah.
Now, these guys, they weren't your typical Babylonian scholars, right?
Right. They were captives from Judah, remember?
Right. They're living in Babylon.
Serving the king.
Yeah.
But they weren't Babylonian. They were from somewhere else.
And that little detail, it changes things, doesn't it?
It changes everything.
Yeah.
Because that detail, captives from Judah,
Mm-hmm.
it reveals this clash of cultures.
Yeah,
right?
totally, yeah.
A clash of kingdoms. And I think most importantly, it reveals a clash of gods.
Yeah, okay.
Daniel and his friends, they worshiped the God of Israel.
Right.
And that put them at odds with the entire Babylonian system.
It's like a whole other layer of tension here.
A whole other layer of tension.
I mean, talk about a high-pressure situation.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You've got these captives from Judah, men of faith, and they're facing down, like, a king who's known for, let's just say, not being super reasonable.
Right. Not exactly known for his chill demeanor.
Not exactly, yeah. So what does Daniel do?
Well, this is where we really see what Daniel's made of. He doesn't panic. He doesn't try to, like, sweet talk his way out of it or
He
anything.
doesn't pull a fast one.
No, not at all. He does something unexpected. He prays.
Which, let's be real, most people would be like, okay, got to think of a plan B, C, D.
Right, like, time to update the old resume.
Exactly. But Daniel, he turns to God.
Yeah, he and his friends, they get on their knees, and they pray for mercy, for guidance. Can you imagine that?
I mean, that takes some serious faith.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with,
Deadline.
a pretty serious deadline, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're praying. What happens? Does God come through?
Well, let's just say Nebuchadnezzar wasn't the only one with a flair for the dramatic.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Daniel, he receives a vision, a divine revelation.
No way. So he gets the dream and the interpretation.
The whole 9 yards. He gets it all.
Wow. Talk about an answered prayer.
I know, right? But here's the thing, Daniel. He doesn't go bragging about it. He doesn't go, see, I told you so.
He's not like, in your face, Nebuchadnezzar.
No, none at all.
So what's his reaction?
He gives thanks. He praises God, acknowledging that this wasn't just some lucky guess or some clever trick.
Right.
This was divine intervention.
Powerful.
Yeah, and you get the sense that for Daniel, this wasn't just about saving his own skin, you know.
Okay.
This was about something bigger.
So it's not just a personal victory for Daniel.
Right. It's a testament to God's power. It's about God showing up even in Babylon.
Wow.
Okay, so Daniel's got the dream. He's got the interpretation. He goes back to Nebuchadnezzar. How does he break it to him?
Carefully, I hope.
Right, because this is a king with, let's just say, a bit of a temper.
Yeah. Not exactly known for his patience.
So how does this go down? How does Daniel tell him?
Well, with a surprising amount of, well, humility. He doesn't rub it in Nebuchadnezzar's face.
He doesn't gloat.
No grandstanding. He just says, hey, you know that dream you had? I can interpret it.
Just like that.
Pretty much.
Wow. Talk about a power move.
Right.
Just quiet confidence.
Okay, but I gotta know, what was the dream? Like, what did Daniel see?
All right, so picture this. A giant statue gleaming in the sunlight.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
But here's the thing. It's made of different metals, each one more impressive than the last.
Oh, this is symbolic, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, totally symbolic. So the head of the statue, pure gold.
Gold.
Yeah, and even gold equals
Wealth, power, royalty.
Exactly.
So the head represents.
Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar's own kingdom.
Of course.
Talk about an ego boost, right?
Right. Although something tells me this isn't all sunshine and golden statues.
You're catching on. The statue, it gets a little less impressive as you go down.
Okay, how so?
Well, the chest and arms, they're made of silver.
Silver, okay. So is that bad? What does that represent?
Well, it represents the kingdom that's going to come after Babylon.
So even in this dazzling image of power, there's a hint of, what? Decline?
Yeah, decline, transition.
Like it's not going to last forever.
Exactly.
Okay, so gold, silver.
What's next?
Bronze.
Bronze.
Yeah. A third kingdom represented by bronze.
Okay, so we're moving down the metal hierarchy here. We are definitely moving down the metal hierarchy. And it gets even, well, less shiny from there. Less shiny, okay? I'm kind of getting the feeling that that's not a good thing in this dream.
No, not really. Not if you're a fan of these kingdoms anyway.
Right.
Because the fourth kingdom, this one's represented by iron.
Iron.
Iron. Legs of iron. And we all know how strong iron is.
Yeah, that's not like delicate silver or anything.
No, this isn't about elegance or, fine craftsmanship. This is brute strength. This kingdom, it's going to crush the previous ones, like walk all over them.
No more Mr. Nice Empire.
Nope. It's a force to be reckoned with. This Iron Kingdom, it just breaks everything in its path.
Wow, that's intense. It's amazing to me how these ancient symbols, the gold, the silver, the bronze, now the iron, they still mean something today.
It's right.
Like, we can relate to that, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, we see these patterns throughout history all the time. Empires, they rise, they become powerful, and then bam, they fall.
It's like that saying, what goes up must come down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This dream, it's like it's tapping into something fundamental about human nature. Like, this is how we operate, right? We're always striving for power, trying to build empires, but it never seems to last.
Yeah, and the dream's not over yet, is it? We still haven't gotten to the feet of the statue. What did Daniel see down there?
Well, this is where the imagery gets even more interesting. And kind of strange, honestly.
Okay, I like strange. Lay it on me.
So imagine this. The feet and toes of this massive statue, they're a mixture of iron and clay.
Iron and clay.
Iron and clay. Like Try building something solid with that combination.
Good luck with that, right? I mean, that's like mixing oil and water. It's just not going to hold.
Exactly. It's a recipe for disaster. And that's the point. This kingdom, the one represented by the feet and toes, it's divided. It's strong, like iron, but also incredibly fragile, like clay.
Oh, I get it. It's like it's got all this outward power, but it's weak at its core. It's unstable.
Exactly. And, it makes me think, haven't we seen that throughout history too? Even the most powerful empires, they all have their weaknesses, these internal divisions that ultimately lead to their downfall.
Totally. It's like those empires, they were doomed from the start, even if they didn't know it.
Right. But there's one more part to the dream, one more symbol that changes everything.
Oh, yeah, the stone. I've been waiting for this. What about the stone that smashes the statue? That image really stuck with me.
It's a powerful image, right? Like in his vision, Daniel sees this stone. And at first, it seems pretty insignificant compared to that massive multi-metal statue. But then, this stone, it strikes the statue at its weakest point. The feet, the iron mixed with clay, and boom.
Game over.
Game over. That's it for the statue. It crumbles, turns to dust like it was never even there. Poof.
Talk about a mic drop moment. Okay, but what about the stone? It doesn't just disappear, does it?
That's the amazing part. The stone, the one that destroyed the statue, it grows.
Yeah.
It grows and it grows until it becomes this massive mountain so big it fills the entire earth.
A mountain that fills the whole earth. That's a powerful visual. What does it mean?
This is the heart of the prophecy. This is what it's all about. The stone, it represents God's kingdom, a kingdom that's eternal, unshakable, unlike those temporary, flawed human empires. It's a reminder that even though human kingdoms might rise and fall, God's kingdom will last forever.
Wow, that's a message that I think we all need to hear. Even today, it's so easy to get caught up in the news and the political dramas and forget that there's something bigger than all of that, something that lasts.
I think you're right. We all long for that sense of stability, for something solid to hold on to. And that's what this story points to.
And imagine Nebuchadnezzar, this king who was used to getting his own way, hearing this prophecy, he was blown away. He acknowledged the power of Daniel's God, which is saying something coming from him.
He recognized something bigger than himself, something true.
And that's a powerful lesson for all of us, I think, to be open to truth even when it comes from unexpected places. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but I hope this conversation inspires you to keep asking questions, to keep seeking truth. Who knows what you might discover?